Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining me. This is the sketch I'll be doing in this video, and before I get started, I just want to share with you my little travel palette and how I scuffed up the palette surface so it doesn't pool the paint. So let me share with you how I did that. So I purchased my new travel palette, and I did get a couple different ones, but this one is definitely my favorite. So I just wanted to share with you, I have my little swatch card that I made, and then I added, this row was empty, so I bought some blank empty pans, and I used like a double stick tape and stuck them in to the bottom of this palette and then filled them. Some of them with the cakes and some I filled with my tubes. And so I don't know if you guys, you know, when you get a new palette, it can bead really bad. So you can do one or two things that I've seen done. A magic sponge. It's one of those cleaning sponges, those Mr. Clean Magic Sponge. You can rough up the surface with that, but I don't think that worked as great for me. And then I saw somebody that did a glue stick. So you put a little bit of, I can open this, I have lotion on my hands. You put a little bit of the glue stick down, and then let me get a paper towel. And then you just kind of smear that around, and it kind of roughs up the surface. And then I ended up taking this back to it a little bit. But I think I need a little water just to clean it then. So I don't know, if you guys have other ideas on how to rough up the surface, let me know. But I kind of like this. We'll use the purple. And see, it kind of stays, whereas this one beads up. I haven't done this side yet, but I did do these two sides. And so it's nice because it spreads better and you could see the paint. So if you guys have other ideas, let me know. But this worked for me, the glue stick. Like I said, put a little glue down, rubbed it in, and then took some water to it and got it off of the surface. You don't want it too tacky, obviously. You want to get the glue off, but the glue just seems to have roughed it up. My glue is a Elmer's glue, and it's purple. It's like a kid's glue. But yeah, so I am going to share a video now where I used the palette before I did that process, and then you could see as I'm painting, it then works out better towards the end of the video. So let me share that with you. So we're on to the sketch part of the video, and I hope that little palette tip helps you out. And I just adjusted my light there because I had a shadow on my hand, and I'm speeding up just the ink part of this, and then I'll slow it down when I paint. But I was in Illinois visiting my mother-in-law who has dementia, and she recognized me, which was just so sweet. I just love her to death, and it was so great to see her. So I did bring some supplies, and I did sketch this, and she enjoyed watching me sketch. I didn't have much time. I really wanted to focus on her and my sister-in-laws and help them out as much as I could. So this was really the only thing that I did and I brought all my supplies, but it was okay. You know, I thought it was good to have them if I needed them to kill some time, but I enjoyed spending time with the family, that there was no downtime, and it was a great visit. So I did find this reference photo. It's in Worth, Florida, and I'm not sure. I think this is just a well, this, it says stationery on the awning, so this is a business there. And I picked it because of I like the tile roofs and awnings, and I love that umbrella, the color of that umbrella. I should have put some of the hanging baskets in. I did not do those, or the poinsettias on the bottom. I did put the one plant that's on the ledge. Other than that, I kept it close to what the reference photo was. And I sketched this, and now, like I'm showing you here, I'm just going to go over my pencil marks with my Micron 01 fine tip pen. I'm sketching this onto a piece of watercolor paper that I ripped out of a pad that was a nice little travel pad that I brought with me. So this is a 4x6, 140-pound watercolor sheet of paper. So I'm doing a few of these smaller, little less detailed sketches, keeping it simple. Some of them I've done that are even less detailed, and this one happens to have a little bit more, but I think it turned out really cute. And I do love my new palette that I showed you earlier. I purchased a Winsor Newton palette, travel palette. I'm sure you've seen it. It's the plastic one, it has the water container. I brought that with me. I wasn't able to use it, but while I was there, I wanted to go to one of my favorite stores, Dick Blick, and I ran in there, and they had that palette that also, it's metal and it holds the water, and I can't remember the name of it, but it was like $100, and I thought it wasn't necessary to have the water because I'm mostly sketching at home anyways. And the reason why I bought the travel palette was because I wanted to be able to position it so you guys could see when I'm painting, because the other palette I had was a little too large and it just wouldn't all fit. So now we're going to go into the paint section. So see, I've got my palette on the left, but in the next video I put the palette on the right, so you'll be able to see a little bit better. But you can see how the paint is beading, because I haven't prepped the palette yet, like I showed you in the beginning. But I mixed up a little bit of, let's see what color that, the cobalt turquoise and cerulean blue for the sky. And I'm going to wet the paper first, and then I'll go back in, pick up my paint, and just drop it right on top. And I like doing these skies like this, just a little, it's not covering the whole top, it's just a little bit of sky and a nice little misshaped form. And I'm working on a palette that I've used in the past, and I have it propped up just a little bit so the watercolor will run down the paper. And I'm mixing up the color for the Spanish tile I did a little bit of cad red orange and a little yellow ochre. I'll pop that into the awning, or the shutters and around the door. And I'm using my Zero Dugato brush, which is a mop brush, and it's the smallest one I have. It's a 0. It's got a really nice little point to it, so you can get in some, I can get in some of those smaller details. I had a few little splatters. Didn't want that in my sky though. And then if you blot like that, it looks like clouds. If you just take a dry paper towel and before your paint dries, just blot up some of the paint and you can have some clouds in your sky. And I'm just going in with the straight Payne's Gray. And I'm gonna mix up a little bit of that cobalt turquoise for that umbrella. I'm not mixing it up, I'm using it straight. Just adding a little bit of water. I'm mixing up a little bit of phthalo light green with some cad yellow for the lighter green for the trees and the tree and the shrub. And add a little green to that planter. Add a little more sap green for a little different value in the bush or tree. Adding a little raw umber to my palette just to make a little bit darker shade of brown for the gutter and the downspout and the umbrella stand and the ledges. And I wadded up a little bit of paper towel and tucked that into the side of my palette pans there because some of them, they can slide, so I just tucked them in a little bit better. So they are a little more snug with that paper towel rolled up. The ones in the middle, they have nothing to keep them down, so that's why I did use a little double stick type of paint, or excuse me, double stick type of tape. I'm just brightening up those same areas. They dried a little lighter than I wanted, so I'm going back in with the CAD red orange. And now that the paper has dried, I'm gonna go ahead and add some detail with the micron pen again. This is my favorite part, when you add some more pen work, because it just makes things stand out more. So it's nice to vary the thickness of your pens. Have some thin lines and some thick lines. And I'm going to add a few more wavy lines to make it look like the rows of tiles. That's my, I don't know if you can hear that, that's my Hurricane Helena. Went by us yesterday, and now it's hitting the Panhandle near Tallahassee. So we just had, in Cape Coral, we just had a lot of wind and some rain. We did have flooding near the water, closer to the beaches. But I think up north they definitely got hit a little harder with this one. It's almost 2 years ago to the day that Ian hit us, which was the real bad one. That was the category 5. That was horrific. We evacuated. We left. We went to the other side of the state. Took the dogs, loaded up the car, and left. Went to Boca. I felt like I was on vacation while everybody else was struggling. Very sad. But Helena's heading up north. So you can see how just those darker pen marks, it's really nice. Adds a little more dimension. So I had to step aside, I had to step away, and I had some things I had to do. So in the meantime, I did prep this palette, so you can see now how the paint just lays so much nicer when you're mixing. And I'm just going to go ahead and just darken up that on the awnings. And some of the windows. I'm just going to add a little dot of yellow to the little light fixture, give it a little glow. And a little bit of terracotta color to the
pot on the shelf. I have my fine tip Uni Posca pen, and I'm just going to add some squiggles to the edge of the awning for the signage. And here is my finished sketch. Winter Park, Florida. That's what it was, Winter Park. I'm not quite sure much about this location, so sorry I didn't have much information to share with you about it. But yeah, this one turned out really cute. I love the colors in it. I love that umbrella with the green and the sky and that beautiful terracotta color along with it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope I was able to share some valuable tips for you to use. And if you are a subscriber, thank you so much. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so, so you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. I want to thank you so much for your time. Hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope you have time to sketch. Bye for now.